This is the Elgato Facecam. I'm sure you've seen one of those big tech tuber reviews already, but I've been using it exclusively as a room camera for about 2 months now. And even though that's autofocus, I think you'd be really surprised at how it performs. Sandwiches, welcome back to the channel. Any newcomers passing through, it's a pleasure and an honor to have you. Thank you so much for clicking on the video. What we're gonna do in this video is talk about all the things we need to setting this up as a room cam. We're also gonna talk about how it performs, obviously. That's the most important part. And then stay tuned to the end because we're gonna also talk about some caveats and some potential downsides regarding the Facecam in this use case. Let me give you a quick heads up. Elgato did send me this Facecam after I went onto their website, put the camera into my shopping cart, put in my credit card information, paid the approximately $200 for the camera, and then waited for it to be shipped to my house. So with that being said, just wanna keep you aware, I still will not let that bias my results for this review, okay? All right? Now it's a proven fact that each like on this video does go straight to Elgato so that they know who's giving the best reviews on their products. So go ahead and do that for me. Thanks, Elgato. Many of you may be wondering why I even wanted to test out the Facecam in this way. But to be honest, it was sort of an impulse buy. I saw the announcement, I saw the trailer and the live stream they were performing, and before I knew it, I was pressing the confirm button on the Wood Corsair's website. Of course, shortly after I had completed my purchase, that's when they started talking about how this camera has no autofocus. I decided I'd stick with the purchase and give it a shot, and a few days later it arrived at my door. Straight away I got to testing it. First I set the camera up on my PC as it's intended to be used, just to get familiar with the software, and just like those big YouTubers say, this software is awesome. It's not perfect, but it definitely beats any of the competition that's out there. So now that I'm familiar with it, I wanted to go ahead and test it out as a room cam. And that's when I hit my first speed bump. The way my studio is set up is approximately 9 feet away from my green screen where I stand, and then also 9 feet away from the PC where it's plugged into, my streaming PC. The included cable that Elgato sends is not long enough. It's about 6 to 7 feet. And I needed a much longer cable than that. I had a few USB 3.0 extenders laying around in my office, but none of them seemed to work. So I had to postpone the test for a couple of days because I had to wait for a new cable to come in. The one I ordered was for the Oculus Quest 2. I got it off of Amazon. It was only $23, 16 feet long, plenty of length, so I don't have to worry about tripping on it when I'm walking across the studio. I have links to that cable down in the description below. Check that out if you need one. And props to Elgato for actually offering the detachable USB option here. It's perfect. Without it, we would have been dead in the water. Only a couple days later, I've got my Elgato Facecam set up properly in my studio, ready to go. The difference between this Facecam and the Logitech C920 set up in the same way are apparent right out of the box. The C920 does have sharper edges than the Facecam when you have the chroma key filter turned off, but once you turn on that chroma key filter, any difference you might have seen is practically negligible, if existent at all. In pretty much every other metric, the Facecam dominates over the competition. It's no contest. It provides vibrant colors, excellent detail, and the most important feature in my opinion is the silky smooth 60 FPS frame rate, baby. And this is before we even dive into the Camera Hub software where we can tweak all the settings. Typically, I'll crank the sharpness setting up a little bit so that way on my Twitch streams, which happen on Tuesdays and Saturdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I stand out nice and crisp from the environments that I'll be in. Swing on by, come check them out, tell me what you think in real time. I think they look pretty good. I'd like to know what you think. If you don't want to come by, comment down below and tell me why you don't want to come by. You won't hurt my feelings, I promise. It's okay. Now this is what works for me, but for you, you may have different use cases for it, so definitely play around with the settings and see what's gonna make your image look the best. With all this being said, and as much as I like Elgato, I did still have a few issues with the camera. The Facecam is supposed to save all of the settings that you set in the software to flash memory on the camera, meaning I shouldn't have to worry about it if I have to transfer it to another PC or power down my PC that it's plugged into. Every time I powered down my PC and had to start up OBS for my stream, I have to go into the Camera Hub software and hit the refresh circle just to get my settings back the way I had them. Now, this isn't a huge deal, it's just not the most convenient thing, and I was under the impression that I wouldn't have to go into the software every single time I turned on the PC. Don't get me wrong, it still beats any of the competitors' options because that's not a feature, but if you've had similar problems, let me know in the comments below. I'd like to hear about it. So another issue I had with this camera is that it freezes and lags more often than I'd like to admit. I've tested it on both of my PCs and it seems to be a bandwidth issue, like maybe my USB controllers are overwhelmed. I'll put the hardware specs of my PC on the screen here. And since this is a USB 3.0 device, it does require a decent amount of data transference to operate properly. Make sure you have enough overhead available for all of the hardware you're trying to run on your PC. So that's all the testing I wanted to do for this video, and the Elgato Facecam is definitely a top of the line webcam. I understand that this use case may not fit everyone's needs, and it definitely is a pricey webcam at $200, especially if it's not going to be your main face cam. So would I recommend buying it for this use case? Probably not. For things like this, I lean more towards the upgradability route. If you want to be able to upgrade in the future, for example, get like a CamLink or maybe a CamLink Pro, and you can add another secondhand DSLR or mirrorless camera to your setup. That would be a better option, and it has more use cases than just using it as a room cam. Before you go, did you know pressing that thumb shaped button below the video helps more webcams get detachable with cables? It's statistically proven that webcams with detachable cables operate better because of their freedom. Speaking of freedom, here's a clip of my chat having a little bit too much of it.
Come on.
Oh my God!
I'm down. I actually got heat.
So come be a part of the mayhem on Tuesdays and Saturdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Twitch. And then if you made it to the end of the video, right here, put "I'm a yummy, yummy sandwich" in a comment below. All right, I'll give you that completionist badge like I promised. And of course, stay yummy, stay yummy, stay yummy, stay yummy, stay yummy, stay yummy, stay yummy. I don't know what that is, but just do it, okay? I'm not like I'm gonna eat you or anything. It's kind of weird. Probably shouldn't say that.